Welcome, 8th graders. I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. We are diving headfirst into Unit 3, Exploring Literary Genres. Now, if you've ever found yourself just completely lost in a book, like you literally cannot put it down, well, today we're unpacking exactly why that happens. We're going to explore how characters, and honestly, more importantly, the conflicts they face, are the absolute beating heart of every great story. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll see how conflict drives the plot. Then we'll break that down into the battles within, which is internal conflict, and the outside forces or external conflict. After that, we'll look at what happens when both of those collide, how you can navigate real-world battles, and we'll wrap it all up with what it means to be a godly learner. Let's jump right in. All right, Section 1. Conflict drives the plot. I want you to really think about something for a second. What makes a story actually interesting? I mean, think about your absolute favorite book or a movie you just love to rewatch. Why do you keep turning the pages? Why are you glued to the screen? Is it because the main character is just standing around having a perfectly fine, totally ordinary day where absolutely nothing goes wrong? Obviously not, right? The answer is actually really simple. Conflict drives the plot. This is our big idea for today, so go ahead and lock this in your memory. Without a struggle, characters go nowhere. And honestly, stories have absolutely no meaning. You see, a plot is basically just a sequence of events. But the conflict, that is the engine pushing those events forward. It forces the character to react, to grow, to change, and to make some really difficult choices. And we can actually split that engine into two main parts, internal conflict on one side and external conflict on the other. It's kind of like a dual lens that we can use to look at any story. We're going to look at the struggles happening deep inside the character and compare them against the struggles happening outside, out in the world around them. Let's move into Section 2 and see how this builds. Battles within. Internal conflict. So, internal conflict happens exclusively inside a character's mind. It is the invisible battle. We're talking about things like overwhelming fear, crushing guilt, or just paralyzing indecision. You know, like when you absolutely know you need to apologize for something, but your pride just will not let you do it. These struggles are so incredibly important because they reveal a character's deepest emotions and their hidden beliefs. You can't see it with your physical eyes, but man, it is often the toughest battle a character is ever going to fight. Just imagine a student who desperately wants to join the school play, but they are absolutely terrified of public speaking. The stage isn't the enemy here. The script isn't the enemy. The real struggle is against their own anxiety. In this scenario, the character is their own biggest obstacle. Overcoming that internal fear, that becomes the entire core of their character arc. All right, let's flip the coin. Section 3, outside forces, external conflict. External conflict is a battle between a character and an outside force. This is the visible stuff, the action. It could be fighting a classic comic book villain, trying to survive a massive, swirling hurricane, struggling against a totally unfair society, or, even dealing with rogue technology, like when your Wi-Fi randomly dies right before you submit a massive history essay. These forces test a character's physical limits and the absolute strength of their social relationships. To put that on a much grander scale, just imagine two epic kingdoms going to war over resources. This struggle is happening entirely in the physical world. It involves armies, land, and huge outside forces just crashing into a character's life, demanding immediate physical action. It's bold, it's loud, and it is visible to absolutely everyone. Moving on to Section 4, when both conflicts collide. Because here is the secret. The absolute greatest stories rarely rely on just one type. So what actually happens when we blend both types together? Well, consider the soldier's dilemma. Imagine a soldier fighting fiercely in the middle of a battle. That's our external conflict, right? They are physically surviving against an outside force. But simultaneously, deep inside their mind, they are questioning whether the war they are fighting is actually just. That is the internal conflict. Blending these two massively deepens the story's emotional weight. We aren't just watching a physical fight anymore. We are watching a profound battle of the conscience. Which brings us to Section 5, and honestly, perhaps the most important part of our lesson today, navigating real-world battles. Because listen, 8th graders, you aren't just reading stories. You are actually living one. I want you to listen to this incredibly powerful quote from John 16:33. Jesus says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world."
It is completely normal that we face real-world troubles and conflicts. Just like the characters in the books we study, you are going to face outside pressures and you will absolutely wrestle with internal fears. It is just a normal part of the human journey.
So, the crucial point I want you to take away is this. Understanding literature actually helps you navigate your own life. Why does that matter? Because recognizing the different types of conflict, literally seeing the forces that shape a fictional character's journey, equips you to handle your own stuff. When you can analyze how a character deals with an external trial or overcomes an internal anxiety, you are quite literally gathering wisdom for your own battles. To practice this, here's your assignment. Go ahead and grab your notebooks. Based on your current reading, here's what you need to do. Step 1, identify one internal conflict. Step 2, identify one external conflict. Step 3, explain exactly how that internal struggle affects the external one. Step 4, back it up with solid evidence from the text. And finally, Step 5, predict the resolution. Let's see you really apply what we've learned today. Finally, let's bring it all home. Section 6, the Godly Learner. At HeroesMart Academy, we purposely intertwine biblical morality with education. Why? Because education without morality can actually hurt. Knowledge and intelligence should help you make wise, God-honoring choices, rather than just simply making you more capable. Think about it. If we teach you how to be absolutely brilliant, but we completely fail to teach you how to be good, well, we haven't truly educated you at all. Romans 8:6-7 teaches us that keeping the mind spiritually minded leads to life and peace. Mastering academic skills, like the literary analysis we tackled today, is not just about getting a good grade on a test. When you train yourself to see the truth in a story, you are actually training your mind to see the truth in the real world.
So I'm going to leave you with this challenge today, 8th graders. Pursue academic excellence fiercely, but do it while keeping your mind completely centered on God, truth, wisdom, and righteous choices. When you face your own battles this week, and you will, whether it's an external conflict with a friend or an internal battle against your own doubts, will you just react, or will you use the wisdom you're gaining right now to intentionally choose life and peace? I'll see you in our next explainer,